Have you ever paused in the stillness of your heart and asked, Lord, is that you? That quiet stirring deep in your spirit, that gentle tug amid the noise of your daily life, yes, beloved, it's me. Even when distractions cloud your mind and your fears feel louder than your faith, I am speaking. And now, I speak clearly, you were chosen. Before you ever breathed your first breath, before the world ever whispered your name, I already knew you. I was there, sculpting you in secret, shaping you with care in the sanctuary of your mother's womb. While the world could not see, I saw everything, and what I saw was precious. What I formed was purpose. From the moment I breathed life into you, my eyes never looked away. Every beat of your heart, every sigh in your chest, every glimmer of hope that flickered inside you, I noticed. I rejoiced. I whispered my love into your soul, so even when the world tried to convince you otherwise, a piece of you always knew, you are not alone. Yes, you felt invisible at times. Forgotten. You've wondered, is there more for me? Let me assure you, not only is there more, there is magnificence. I designed you to be more than just a passerby in this world. I created you to carry light into the darkest places, to be a living message of hope where hope feels lost. You don't need a title, a platform, or the applause of people to matter. Your value was established by me, and my word is unchanging. I do not measure your worth by your achievements but by your identity as my child. That is your forever truth. There were nights when you cried silently, unsure if anyone heard. I did. There were moments you felt the weight of failure pressing in, I was lifting that burden behind the scenes. And today, I need you to know this truth in the deepest place of your being, you have never been forgotten. Let these words reach where doubt has settled. Let them shine where fear once lived. You were chosen. You are called. You are seen. And you are deeply loved. Breathe in, child. I am here. You may not always feel strong, but look at you, you're still here. Still breathing. Still believing. Still hoping for more than what your eyes can see. I've seen the fires you've walked through, those silent seasons where your prayers seem to echo without reply. I've watched as pain tried to make you forget who you are. The nights when sorrow crept in like a flood, and still, you stood. You didn't come through that fire alone. I was with you, in every tear, every breath, every trembling step. When you thought the darkness would swallow you whole, my light was your shield. When fear tried to suffocate your soul, my breath revived you. There were battles that never made it to the surface, internal wars no one else could see. You smiled through exhaustion, served through heartache, and gave from an empty cup. But even when you couldn't recognize it, I was fighting for you. I positioned angels at your side when unseen dangers lurked. My hand lifted you when discouragement tried to bury your calling. I was not a distant observer, I was your protector, your defender, your refuge. And I still am. I didn't allow you to break, even when it felt like everything was falling apart. Every trial, every heartbreak, every closed door, none of it was wasted. It has shaped your strength, refined your spirit, and brought you into deeper dependence on me. Where others only saw the fire, I saw the gold that would emerge from it. Where they expected ashes, I envisioned beauty. You've been refined, not destroyed. So look around you now. You are not the same person who entered those storms. You are wiser, stronger, more compassionate, not in spite of the battle, but because of it. And do you know why? Because I was with you, even when you couldn't feel me. Because my love never faltered, even when yours grew weak. Because my plan for your life was never cancelled, even when everything around you felt like defeat. You didn't just survive. You were being prepared. Prepared to rise. Prepared to lead. Prepared to walk in a purpose that is far bigger than what you imagined. And this, my beloved, is only the beginning. Let go of the fear that says you're not ready. Dismiss the voice that whispers you're not enough. You have walked through the fire, and you're still standing, not just by chance, but by design. By my design. Yes, you've been through fires. But even more, you've been through wars you never realized were happening, battles that never reached your doorstep because I stood in the way. While you slept, I was shielding you. While your heart felt heavy, I was lifting you. And when the enemy aimed his arrows at your purpose, I intercepted them, one by one. You wonder sometimes how you've made it this far. The truth is, not every victory is visible. Some of your greatest triumphs were fought in the spiritual realm where your eyes couldn't see, but your spirit felt the shift. When you were too weary to pray, my spirit groaned for you. When you didn't have words, your tears spoke volumes to my heart. I heard you, not just the words you said, but the ache behind them. The opposition you've faced hasn't been because you're weak, but because you're called. You carry something sacred inside you, and the darkness has tried to silence that light. But I would not allow it. I refuse to let despair define your destiny. Even the voices that tried to diminish your worth, I silenced them with truth. I spoke identity over you when the world tried to strip it away. I poured healing into wounds that no one else even noticed. You didn't have to earn my defense. I stepped in because I'm your father, and nothing can separate you from my protection. You've questioned your significance, but let me be clear. I don't waste my breath on accidents. I don't invest my power in mistakes. You are intentional. Your existence is an echo of my design. There is a call on your life, a divine blueprint with your name written on it. That's why you felt pressure. That's why the road has been steep. But pressure is the mark of purpose, and I've been pressing you into greatness. You were never meant to fight alone. And you never have. I have raised up intercessors in the background, people who prayed for you when you couldn't pray for yourself. I stirred hearts to speak life when you were slipping into silence. I've assigned angels to guard your path, to break barriers, and to remind you, you are seen. This is not the end of your story. You are on the edge of breakthrough, not because you earned it, but because you endured. And now, the winds are shifting. The atmosphere is changing. What once felt like endless resistance will soon turn into miraculous movement. I am fighting still, not because you are failing, but because your calling is flourishing. Don't mistake delay for denial. Don't confuse silence for absence. I am always working, always weaving, always watching. And beloved, I am still defending you. Now that you know I've been your defender, understand this. I didn't just protect you to keep you safe. I preserved you to release you. You were not rescued just to survive. You were rescued to shine. There is a holy fire I've placed within you, one the enemy could not quench, and even time could not diminish. A radiant spark that still flickers in the depths of your soul, waiting to be fanned into a flame. You may have doubted your usefulness. You may have felt too ordinary, too broken, too late. But I do not create with leftovers. I don't call based on qualifications. I anoint based on identity. And your identity? You are mine. My child. My instrument. My vessel of grace. Chosen for this generation, in this exact moment, for a purpose only you can fulfill. Yes, you carry light, not a borrowed glow, but a brilliance I ignited inside you. A light that brings comfort to the weary, peace to the anxious, and hope to the forgotten. That's why the pressure has been so great. The enemy feared what would happen if you fully awakened. If you realize just how powerful your story truly is. But the time for fear is over. The time for shrinking back is done. You don't have to wait for someone else to validate you. I already have. You don't need the crowd's approval when you've already received my commission. I've gifted you with unique talents, not random abilities, but kingdom tools. Tools to build, to bless, to restore. Your voice has weight. Your presence carries peace. Your prayers move heaven. You've underestimated the ripple effect of your obedience. Every time you showed kindness, you planted seeds. Every moment you persevered in private, heaven took notice. Every dream you tucked away for, someday, I remembered, and I still intend to bring them to life. But hear me now, do not rush. Purpose isn't a race. It's a rhythm. Stay in step with me, and I'll lead you to the right opportunities, the right people, the right places. I'm not calling you to strive, but to abide. Let me carry the pressure. You just carry the light. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs your authenticity. It needs the gentle strength I've shaped in you through your trials. It needs your story, not the polished version, but the real one. The one where I showed up, again and again. So rise, not in your own strength, but in mine. Walk forward not because you have all the answers, but because you walk with the one who does. This isn't just a calling. It's ascending. You were born for impact. Born to inspire. Born to illuminate. Let the light in you burn bright, my child. And watch how it chases darkness away, not just around you, but within others, too. You don't have to earn my approval by doing more. You already have my heart, not because of what you accomplish, but because you are mine. So before you step forward into everything I've prepared, I'm asking you to do something even more important: come close. Not for a task. Not for an assignment. But simply for relationship. Yes, I've called you. Yes, there is purpose. But more than that, there is me, longing to sit with you, to speak gently to your spirit in the stillness. You don't need to perform for me. You don't have to present a polished version of yourself. Come with your questions. Come with your fatigue. Come with the joy you're afraid to share, and the disappointments you haven't spoken aloud. I don't just want your strength, I want your honesty. Even when your prayers are silent sighs. Even when your faith feels like a flicker. Even then, especially then, draw near. This is where your strength is renewed, not in movement, but in stillness. This is where clarity is found, not in planning, but in presence. I whisper when the world shouts. I speak clearest when you pause. Do not fear the quiet, child. I dwell there. And in those sacred moments, I remind you of things you've forgotten. How deeply loved you are. How carefully I've carried you. How completely I've covered you. Let me be your refuge, not just when life gets hard, but every day. Make space for me in the ordinary. Invite me into the mundane. There's nothing too small for my interest. If it matters to you, it matters to me. I want to walk with you in the simple. In your laughter. In your tears. In your routines. Not just as your savior, but as your closest companion. And when life feels overwhelming again, when decisions pile up and timelines press in, come back here. To this quiet space where I remind you. You were never created to carry this alone. Let me lift what's too heavy. Let me breathe peace into your anxious thoughts. Let me hold your heart when it begins to drift. You are not just a servant in my kingdom, you're a son, a daughter, family. You have access. You have belonging. You have my full attention. Stay close to me, and you'll walk in alignment. Stay rooted in my presence, and fruit will grow without forcing it. This is not about striving. This is about surrender. I'm not asking you to prove anything. I'm inviting you to be with me, to find that who you are with me is more than enough. So rest here a while longer. Let my presence become your rhythm. Let my voice become the melody that moves your steps. Let my love, steady and unwavering, be the foundation beneath your every yes. Because before I ever sent you into the world, I chose to dwell with you. You've rested in my presence. You've heard my voice in the quiet. Now, my beloved, it's time to rise. Not in panic. Not in pressure. But in peace. Step forward, not because everything makes sense, but because you trust that I do. You may not have every detail figured out, but you have something greater, my presence. And where I am, there is provision. Where I lead, there is victory. Let the stillness we've shared fuel the steps ahead. Let the whispers of truth you've received drown out the noise of doubt. Let the closeness you've cultivated be your compass through unfamiliar paths. You will face new moments, yes. Some will stretch you. Others may shake you. But none will undo you, because I go before you. I prepare the way. I part the seas. I soften the hearts you will meet. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you are walking into promises I've already spoken. The seeds you've planted in faith, I have not forgotten them. The tears you sowed in secret, I've collected each one. The dreams you've tucked away, they are not discarded. They are waiting to bloom. This next season will require trust, not because I am far, but because I am near in unfamiliar ways. The old strategies may no longer work, and that's not a failure. It's an invitation. A call to follow not your own understanding, but my Spirit's leading. You are not walking in circles. You are being positioned. You are not losing time. You are being aligned. And you are not starting from scratch, you are stepping forward with wisdom, strength, and fire refined through every trial you've overcome. Take courage, what you carry is holy. And what I've entrusted to you, I will sustain. If doors close, it's not rejection, it's redirection. If people walk away, it's not abandonment, it's protection. If the path narrows, it's not punishment, it's preparation. You've asked me to move mountains. Now I'm asking you to climb, step by step, not alone, but hand in hand with me. Not in fear, but in faith. Let me remind you one more time. You are called. You are chosen. You are covered. No setback can cancel what I've declared. No voice can undo the assignment I've marked with your name. No shadow is dark enough to erase the light you now carry. Go with boldness, not because you know what's coming, but because you know who walks beside you. You were never meant to wander through life. You were made to walk with me, in rhythm, in joy, in power. So rise, child of heaven. Let your soul echo with confidence. Let your heart overflow with trust. Let your life speak of my goodness, not just with words, but with the way you love, forgive, lead, and shine. And when the world tries to shake your foundation, when old voices try to creep in, come back here. Back to this stillness. Back to this truth. You are mine. And I am with you, now, always, forever.